Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Wendell Elamine James Show. Tonight's guest, we have Harvey Turner, a guest, a long-time offender, a long time in prison. He came home. He been successful in his transition back to society. So we want to bring him on tonight and ask a few questions about his transition as rehabilitation of himself in the public corrections and what his future goals are. So we want to welcome Harvey to the show tonight. Welcome, Harvey.
How you doing?
Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you for having me.
Glad to have you. You was a long time offender. Matter of fact, you was a lifer.
Yes, I was 15 years of life.
15 years of life. How much time did you actually do?
I did 23 years.
23 years. And what was your crime?
My crime was second-degree murder.
Second degree murder.
Yes.
Okay. You went to prison when you was
I had just turned 18 in June 1992, and I had 7 months as a legal adult. I was arrested in February 1993.
Okay. And you started your time where?
I started my time in DVI reception, and I was transferred. My first actual prison was on Lancaster.
Okay. So how long did you do in Lancaster?
I did 6 years in Lancaster.
Okay. So when you went to prison, it was kind of like you going into a brand new world.
Yes, everything was new.
Everything
was new. It was my first time in prison. I didn't know what to expect, and my frame of mind and my perspective is what I seen on TV and heard on the news about what prison was about. So my antennas was pretty much up. Yes, and being there at a young age and coming from one world into a gated community was a extreme transition.
Yeah, I can imagine that. So you stayed in Lancaster how long?
I was there for 6 years.
6 years, and then you went where?
They sent me to New Folsom.
Okay. That was another culture shock.
Yes, it was.
Going to the New Folsom, my goodness. Yeah, I can imagine you being a young man going into a level 4 environment.
Right.
You know, that wasn't that nice at that time. It was kind of like rock and rolling then.
It was, but it's like how animals have instincts to survive.
Right.
And so my instincts to survive was greater than my fear.
Okay.
Because I was young and I was experiencing that for the first time in my life, and I had to adapt fast,
right.
Because it was a place where people was losing their life for the most minimum things.
Yeah.
You know, so
That's real. So you stayed there for how long you stayed in New Folsom?
I was in New Folsom for 2 years.
And you went where after that?
Then I went back to DVI mainline. My points had dropped. I went from level 4 to a level 3.
Okay. And you stayed how long in DVI?
I stayed in DVI 1 year and was transferred to another extreme, to Old Folsom.
Old Folsom. Yeah. Well, we go through these prison settings, and we look around and see certain things that we don't want to be part of.
Right.
So let me ask you a question. At what time during your prison time that you did the light click on that you had to do something different?
I specifically remember it was March 1999 when the light actually clicked on, when I actually did a retrospective look at myself, and I figured that if I continue to live the same life that I lived on the street, if I continue to live the life that I lived on the street in prison, then I give myself no opportunity to be released, because coming in as a young lifer, and at that specific time, the word was lifers don't go home.
Right.
So I had the mentality that I'm in for life. I'm not gonna never get out, so I might as well continue to be who I was on the street. But then that wasn't working for me. On the surface it was, but mentally and spiritually, I wasn't comfortable with the life that I was living, and I knew that something had to change in order for me to find my potential and start living up to the potential that I know that I had in me.
Right. Well, at the time that you came to prison, it was Greg Davis and Pete Wilson. And all
Right.
That was the blanket.
Right.
You can't get out other than a pine box.
Pine box. Yeah. And so a lot of us adapted that mentality, and we believed they were, so to speak.
Right.
Not saying that we believed them, but through our actions, what we was doing was showing that, well, let me use an I statement. What I was doing was showing them that their statement was true.
Right.
Because I wasn't changing. And I was exactly where I deserved to be with the mentality and the lifestyle that I was living at the time they made that statement.
Right. Right. So you were at you was at DVI when you started programming.
Yes.
Okay. And what programs did you attend at DVI?
I started doing various self-help programs. All the outreach that was coming through. My main focal point was going to church. That's what kept me grounded.
Right.
That was catch my spiritual grounds, my roots, grounded. That helped me to become a better person.
Right.
And then I can start doing the other things once the first things is first. I can't skip over point A to get to point B, because point A is going to teach me about what's there in point B.
There you go.
So I dealt with everything. It's like building a house. I had to lay the foundation first
Right.
before I started building, because I understood that if my foundation was rocky and it had certain things in it that could mess up the building or make the building unstable, when something come through, then my whole whatever I'm building, my house will fall.
That's right.
And I wanted a sturdy house. I wanted a sturdy life. So I had to work on the foundation. That's what's on the inside of me first.
Right. That's right. And you so you stayed at DVI for how long?
I was just there for 1 year.
Again, you left when where?
I went to New Folsom
Okay.
from DVI.
Okay. And is that where you paroled from? New Folsom?
No, I paroled from Solano State
Okay.
Prison.
So you left Folsom and went to
Solano.
Solano.
From
Okay.
from New Folsom,
And
from
how-
Old Folsom.
How long did you stay there?
I was there for 10 years.
10 years. Okay.
Yes.
And you started. You went to other programs in Solano. Yeah.
In Solano, that was program capital. That was a place where I realized that there's so much help there. Only way a person wouldn't get the help that he needed is if he didn't do nothing.
Right.
Because it's all around you.
Right.
And I had to become proactive in my own rehabilitation, because wasn't nobody getting me up, making me go to the programs. It was my choice. It was my decision to make. So I took advantage of just about all the programs that was there.
There you go. That's right. So you know one day you was gonna get out.
I felt it.
Yeah.
I never, well, after 1999, I started looking at my life and I said, this is not what I want.
Exactly.
This is not where I want to spend the rest of my life. And just figure I went in at 18.
Right.
So now I got my 20s, my 30s, and now I got to start thinking, man, I'm in my 40s.
40s, right.
And then I started seeing a lot of lifers that was older than me going home, and I was like, man, I'm not gonna miss this boat.
That's
so
right,
I'm gonna start doing. I'm gonna find out what they did,
Right.
and then I'm gonna start doing the same thing.
That's
You
right.
know, not just to get the paperwork, but like I said, what's on the inside of me was what's gonna make a difference.
Exactly.
Because I've been to the board 5 times.
Okay.
Right. And I was wondering why I kept getting denied when I was doing everything that I felt that I needed to do, but I wasn't applying it on the inside first.
Inside.
You know, when you have a relationship with people, people have a tendency to know what you are.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Did any of the board members ever tell you that you got to start working on the inside?
Not directly, but they was giving me the answers, and they was telling me, read your transcripts, read your transcripts.
Right.
And it finally clicked. I'm like, man, the answers is in my transcripts, because my transcripts is about who I am,
Exactly.
who I used to be, and who I want to be.
Exactly.
Right? And so they was telling me, read your transcripts, and in my transcripts, I was finding out me. It was all my transcripts is a story about myself that I never took the time to read. So once I started digging in, and I said, man, this is what they was pointing out right here, is because I know as a man, we had the tendency not to want to know things about ourselves.
Right.
And they say that's why a lot of us don't go to the doctor, because we afraid, right, of what the doctor might reveal to us about ourselves and about our health.
Yeah.
So the transcripts help reveal to me this is what was going on with you. And I think the board of parole here in panel, they wanted me to see, man, this is where your problem's at.
Right.
So you need to address this. And so when I started addressing those things, I started taking the chip off the block. Then it clicked in my mind. Then I was able to articulate to them, this is what was going on with me at 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, which never was taken care of.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was always covered up.
Right.
So now, once I reveal that, instead of them pointing it out to me, I reveal it and say, and then I'll give them a reasonable explanation of this is what was going on in my life at that specific time, and this is what I did to address what was going on at that specific time. I use anger management to deal with my anger. I use NA and AA to deal with my drinking and my alcohol addictions, and so forth down the line. And then I was able to apply them in my daily life, so it made me easier. It made it easier for me to explain this is what was going on, and this is how I addressed this.
Right.
And so it made, like you said, back in '99, I said I have to give them an opportunity to give me a second chance.
Right.
So that's where the transition came in.
A lot of people go on the board. I mean, for years, 19 times go to the board, and they constantly tell them read the transcripts. I mean, he told me 5 times read the transcripts. And you know, and after you go to board, you get denied. You kind of upset. You're angry. You don't want to hear all that. You put him in the box and put him up under the bed, and that's where he be. You know.
Right.
But then it clicks when they tell you to read the transcripts. Over a period of time, you say, well, maybe I read my transcripts.
Right.
And when you read those transcripts, the light come on. Oh, this is what they're saying.
Come right on.
Right.
Answer been there.
Right. Then the next time you go, you get found suitable, or maybe the next 2 times you go, you get found suitable because you read those transcripts and you study what's being said.
Right.
You know, and you can get yourself out. You can get yourself out. But you know, you came on. When did you get parole?
I paroled September 15th, 2015.
2015. So we've been on a short period of time.
For 7 months.
Right. So you came home, and what did you do coming home?
What did I do?
Yeah, I mean, did you have to go into a program? Did you have to go into a transfer housing?
The program where I chose 111 Taylor Street, GO Care, is because I felt like I'm from Sacramento County, but I paroled to San Francisco. Is because I wanted to get myself reestablished first.
Right.
You know, and I knew that me coming home, being gone 23 years, that's a long time. Stuff changed in 23 minutes.
Yeah.
So you've been 23 years. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to get bombarded with the people who didn't understand my frame of mind. You know, so I wanted to be around people who paroled and transition into society, so they can give me the manual and say, look, well, this is what you need to do. This is what don't do. You know what I mean? The people who stepped in that trap. You know, so now they was able to give me the information that I needed, so I wouldn't step in that trap.
Exactly.
And it was difficult dealing with family because they waited 23 years. You know, you got babies that's grown to have babies now. You know, mama and daddy, I'm their baby. So they not looking at, man, this dude just went from one extreme, now he's into the next. You know what I mean? In prison, stuff is moving so slow compared to what's going on out here. You know what I mean? The sights, the sounds, and the smells, the attitudes, the demeanors, everything is different. And so I needed somebody who been through that to help prepare. And family is good. You know, the love is there, but their mental is on a different stage because they wasn't taken out of society like me and did time. So life continued to go on for them. So they adapted to the way society is now. You know, they went right into the technology age. You know what I mean? Opposed from us in prison, we didn't have that. We still on the bullhorn phones. You know, opposed to everybody's on a cell phone, and everything is instant now. You know, email opposed to waiting for your mail for your name to be called. You know what I mean? So basically out here, I can do everything that I need to do without a set time. I don't have to wait for child. I don't have to wait to go exercise because the rec yard ain't open. Everything is open for me. You know, and that's a culture shock within itself when I'm used to the bell ringing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I'm used to somebody telling me, hey, you got 5 minutes, get up and eat, opposed to going to a restaurant and getting up when I want to.
You want to get up, right?
You know, so it was extreme. And it still is extreme because I'm doing stuff for the first time, not only being out, but in my life. Because when I left, I was 18. I was 7 months into my 18th year of living. So now I'm 41 now. And so I'm doing stuff for the first time as an adult. You know, and it's good. It's an experience, you know, that.
Yeah, I know it is. I know it is. Yes, it is. Yeah. I can imagine. You so you did you complete the program?
I'm still in it.
Still in the
now.
program?
Yes, I'm still
Okay,
in
and you working daily?
I work full time.
Okay, okay,
Yes.
that's good. That's right on. That's right on. Well, you're a young man. You got a long life ahead of you. You know, and it's a lot of things that you set yourself up to do and going to do. What are your future goals?
My future goals is to complete parole and to start doing
Okay,
outreach with our youth, because I believe that our youth is our future.
right, exactly.
You know, and I think that now those who've been through, let's say, the rough terrain in life, I think we have an obligation to reach back and to help smooth the path of those who's coming up, right? And I know that life is not going to always be roses. You know, you got some thorns in every rose bush, but if we can reach out and touch a child's life to prevent them from making the same faulty decisions that we made or that I made, to prevent them from going to prison or worse, the graveyard, then I believe that that cycle will begin.
Sure.
You know, that cycle will continue, because I'm not being selfish and I'm not being ashamed to tell my story.
Right.
You know, because I was ashamed to reveal who I was. You know what I mean? But who I was is not going to change.
Right.
Who I can be is what's going to change. You know, and I have to lay the two down and say, okay, which way do I want to go? Do I want to keep going to the left, or do I want to begin to do things right?
That's right.
And I understand to do things right, sometimes I got to go all the way back to the beginning and start over.
That's right.
You know, and so if I can start with the kids, it don't matter what age, if one is willing to listen and they receptive to counsel or suggestions, you know what I mean, to give them a better chance at making a better decisions, because some of them, they only see what they see, just like me. I only seen what I seen.
Right.
I seen a microdot on the globe, and I was secluded to just my neighborhood only.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why it's a good and a bad thing. I know my neighborhood better than I know anything else, but the world is so much bigger than just my neighborhood. You know what I mean? But I would seclude myself to my neighborhood because this is where I found my comfort zone. Whenever I would go outside, I would always want to come back because that's what was familiar to me. But now, stepping out into that unfamiliar, you know, it requires faith, and said, man, this world is so big. There's so many people to meet in the world, right? Other than these few hundred people that I know in my neighborhood. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's a tremendous opportunity, and I realize that I have to take it slow.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to get caught up in the rat race and the Charlotte's Web out there. You know what I mean? There's a spider spinning its web all the time.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And its intention is to catch some prey. And I realize that people's mentality is like that as well. You know what I mean? They'll spin a web and let you get caught up in the middle of it. And then they'll sink their fangs and you begin to suck all the life out of it.
That's what they do. That's what they do. That's what they do.
So just taking it slow. And I'd say not the self-help, but I call it training. You know what I mean? Because for 23 years I was in training. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of things that I took from prison that I can utilize out here in society. You know what I mean? Especially being courteous, being polite, waiting my turn. You know, because I understand how dangerous it can be not to be courteous and polite. You know, it can start a whole thing. So I carry that mentality, even though I run into a lot of people that don't have that mentality, because I realize they merge right into society's norms. And sometimes society's norms is discourteous and rude.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Well,
now you at 111 Taylor. Is that a drug treatment program? Or is that
it's not, but they have programs like that
okay
in there, like such as AA and NA. We go to a group every day and we talk about issues that we face and get reasonable solutions from those that found a way. You know, it's really just a GeoCares is transition. You know, it's supposed to help us to transition easily into society. It's rent free. The program is up to a year. 6 months you can transition out if you have somewhere to go. You know, but you can't stay up to a year. What they do is they give extensions 90 days at a time to give you an opportunity to get established out here in society. So it's rent free, but we have to put something into our own personal account. And at the end of our stay there, we get all the money that we put into our account back. It's just set up for us to save money.
Save money.
Yeah,
Okay.
so when we do transition, we won't run it. We'll have a deposit, first and last rent, you know what I mean, and probably something for some furniture or whatever else to stock your refrigerator.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a tremendous help there.
Yeah. That is helping you transition back to the community you want to go to. That's something that we need coming home from prison. After a long period of time, people come home from prison, and a lot of people don't have nowhere to go.
Right.
You know, the families died. You know, the family don't know them, and they just out on their own. You know, so they have to have something like a backbone to be able to slip and fall back down on. So that's a good thing that they have that program for people to come home from prison. You know, and is that just for long-term offenders?
No, it's open for general population.
Okay.
You know, it's a few non-lifers in there, but there's majority lifers in there because we the ones that been gone for a long time.
Right.
You know, but they do have non-lifers, and there's a state and federal building. The federal is on the second and the third floor. It's co-ed, men and women are there, and all the state commitments is on the fourth floor.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. Yeah, we want to bring people on like yourself and interview you to let society know who we are. You know, because we went to prison for whatever crime we went to prison for. You know, we temporarily went insane. You know? But we came back and we realized that we committed a wrong, and we have to make that wrong right. And we got to come back to society and make amends for the rest of our life.
Right.
You know, and a lot of people come home and they say, well, and I'm back and it's over, it's wrap. You know, we can't do that.
Right.
You know, we got to come back and somebody died, they ain't coming back.
Right.
You know, so we got to make sure that nobody makes the same mistake that we did.
Right.
You know, we don't want nobody to fall in that hole 2 or 3 times. You know, that old story about the person who walked around the corner and saw a hole in the middle of the street and fell inside, got out and walked around the street corner again next day and fell in the same hole. We can't allow him to do that.
Right.
You know, we got to cover the hole up and make sure that he knows there's a hole there, so he can't fall in the hole.
Exactly.
You know, so that's what we do, and us lifers that come home for a long period of time. That's what our purpose is, to change something. We can't change the world, but we can change a small portion of it.
Right.
You know, if we just do the work that we learned in prison. You know, and you know, we commend you for this. You know, we commend you coming home, coming back. You know, welcome home.
Thank you.
You know, welcome home. We commend you for coming back and being part of this society. You went in as a young man.
Right.
You're still a young man. You know, but allow your knowledge that you gained inside. Allow it to come home and change somebody else's life.
Right.
You know, your youngsters are listening to you. You know, they listen to people that's been in prison. I don't understand that, but they listen to us more than somebody been on the streets. And that's a really good thing, because we can sit in somewhere where other people can't. You know, other people can't. So that's a good thing that you gain the knowledge that you gain in prison, so you can come home and make a difference in somebody's life. You know.
Right.
So. Your goal is to get off parole. Are you going back to Sacramento?
Eventually, I'm a crawl my way back.
Okay.
You know, I'm gonna crawl my way back, because a lot of resources is out there, a lot of support is out there, but being that I'm getting established, I'm learning a lot of things on my own out here. So my support system will only be there in case I need them.
If you need it, right.
You know what I mean? It's like that safety net.
Right.
You know, if I fall back, I know there's something there to catch me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I want to make sure that there's something there is catching me, because I'm on the right path.
Right.
See, my security blanket ain't there on the wrong path.
Right. There
You know
go.
what I
There you
mean?
go.
So if I stay on the right path,
Right.
then when I stumble over something and I fall back, my support system is there.
There for you.
You know what I mean? Making positive friendships. You know what I mean? Just networking positive, so a lot of people can see, okay, this is what he was, this is what he is now.
Right.
And I found that when we doing that which is positive, that which is in the light, people want to help us.
Yeah.
People
That's a fact. That's
people
a fact.
want to see you succeed.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
People got resources and tools
Right.
to help you get to where you say you want to go.
Exactly.
But if I'm not going that way, right, and all my network is on the right, then I'm gonna miss out.
Exactly.
Right, because there's nothing catching me right here.
Right.
So this will just make it a free fall.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And wherever I fall, wherever I land, is where I'm gonna be. I did that 23 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. We can't do that no
I
more.
lived a life without boundaries.
Right.
And just by the grace of God, I didn't end up in the grave. I ended up in prison.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I heard you say something about we left victims behind. that don't have that opportunity. So I'm always keeping that in mind, is that I took a life. So what it's gonna take for me to help a life, you know what I mean, to save a life.
Right.
The same thing that worked for me on this end has to work for me on this end when I turn it around.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Because if I was bold enough to carry a gun and shoot at people on the street, how come I ain't bold enough to carry some wisdom and some knowledge to help save some people?
There you go.
You know,
that's what we do.
And so it actually worked. You know, it's sad that somebody don't have that opportunity that I had, but I can keep them alive by doing it in their honor.
Exactly.
You know, so.
Exactly. You can keep them alive by making amends for the rest of your life, and that's what we have to do. We got to show those families that feel that we should be in prison the rest of life. That's not a fact.
Right.
You know, we rehabilitate ourselves. CDC didn't rehabilitate us. We did.
Right.
We did ourselves.
Right.
We made the choice to go into those groups and listen to what was being said and change the way we were thinking to what we're thinking now.
Right.
So we changed our life to who we are now, and we're here to help the ones that's suffering from a disease they don't believe they have.
Right.
You know, we know they got it.
Right.
You know, we know they're sick individuals.
Exactly.
You know, because we was the same people, but we took the medicine. We took all the medicine and we got well.
Right.
So now we got to pass it on to the ones that suffer from a disease that don't think they have. They don't think they're sick, and there's a lot of people, man, that's suffering out there, and they think they cool.
Right.
They got a big old smile, and they doing different things, but they're sick individuals.
Right.
So that's what we're here for. We're here to pass the baton on, let them grab the baton and grab onto it and run with it.
Exactly.
You know, so that's what we do today, and we want to commend you for the work that you've done over the years in prison to get out of prison. You know, because it ain't no easy task to get out of prison. You know, we got to jump the hoops, we got to go to programs, we got to do certain things.
Exactly.
Because going in front of that board member and sit down in front of those board members, and they do it for a living every day, up and down the highway. Right. And they sit there and listen to us, and they smile. And okay, we'll see you in 3 years. You know, they'll keep telling you, we'll see you in 5 years. Right. You know, they keep telling you. You know what I mean? This ain't no cakewalk. You got to come in there and you got to convince me that you're suitable to go back out to society, because I got to sign the paper. You know, and once they sign the paper, they're convinced that you that you ain't gonna never do it again. Right. You know, you got to convince them that you'll never hurt nobody else ever in life. You know. Exactly. So that's what you did. Exactly. You know, you convinced that those commissioners that hey, you ready. You know, and they gave you a shot. So we want to commend you, man, for doing what you did to get back out here and to be part of this world. And we want you to, you know, look on the camera, and I want you to tell the people out there who you are.
My name is Harvey Lee Turner Jr., and I'm a changed man. I went in prison as a child, and I came back as an adult, and I'm ready to make my positive contributions to society, and ready to reach out to whoever, not just the youth, but the adults too, because I see that a lot of adults is still in the adolescent state of mind doing, and Arrested Development still doing stuff that they was doing when they was teenagers, and they grown men and women now. So I'm the person that want to reach out and tell my story and hope that it reach one, and hope that I teach one, and if one reach one and teach one, then we all can be saved. You know, so I'm here. I'm in society making different decisions, making different choices. That's helping shape my destiny. And so it's a slow drip, but eventually my bucket to be full, and I can water somebody's lawn and make their life greener. So
yes, sir. Yes,
that's
sir.
who I am today.
Sir. So we want to thank Mr. Harvey Turner for coming on to the show today, and we want to you guys to view his talk here. It comes on Saturday night at 7 o'clock. It comes on Sunday morning at 6. It comes on Monday at 1. So you got 3 opportunities to watch this and listen to what he's saying. You know, if you don't see it the first time, look at it the second time. You're gonna get something out of this, and listen to what he's saying. And come and look at us every week. We're gonna be on every week. We're gonna bring back Mr. Turner in a few months to see what he's doing with his life. You know, we're gonna bring you back and have you on the show. All right. You know, because people need to know that we didn't just come on here and just talk for today. You know, we're talking for the rest of our life. Right. And we mean what we're saying. Right. So we want to thank you for coming on the show, and congratulations. Welcome home.
All right. Thank you.
All right.